Right, so the time is now 6 o'clock. Good evening. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order at this time. If you'd like to stand. And Mark, if you want to lead us in an invocation, and it'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Father, thank you for today. Thank you for our community. Thank you for such a great community we get to live and work in. We ask your continued blessings on that. We thank you for those that are elected and serving our community and volunteering their time. We thank you for all their efforts. Continue to bless them and give them wisdom as they go forward. Thank you for life. In Jesus' name, amen.
Any visitors' remarks? Okay, today we have a visitor's remarks, and this is Mr. Rogelio Nunez. If you'd like to come up, believe you got 5 minutes? 4 minutes? 5 minutes. Sorry about that. Apologize.
Good evening, Commission, Mayor, City Manager, City Attorney, City Secretary, Director of the Chamber of Commerce. My name is Rogelio Nunez. We met with the Los Fresnos City Council and staff, maybe, I don't know, sometime in March. We brought our staff, their staff, and there was some good discussion about how do we, again, grow this Conjunto Festival in October, which is scheduled already for October 6th and 7th. And something came up in terms of the discussion, and one idea that we thought we could do, and we've already moved forward, Mr. Milam has given us the green light, with what we call basically a simple Conjunto summer program, okay? And I'll give you, I did my homemade flyers, which, they're homemade. Well, we're gonna get some better flyers, but it's been all over the Facebook, it's on the newspapers. I just got a call, that's why we took a photo. We got a call from the Valley Morning Star. They want to do a story on this particular program. So it'll be 6 events every other week, starting June 25th. And the idea is to bring in Conjunto documentaries, speakers, and live music to the city of Los Fresnos. So there's going to be 4 documentaries on Conjunto music. The first one, June 25th, Dr. Manuel Medrano, a UTRGV historian who's retired, who lives in Laguna Vista, has produced a series of documentaries called Los del Valle. And there's 30 of them. 2 have to do with Valerio Longoria, who's one of the pioneers, and one on Narciso Martinez, where he interviewed them when they were alive and produced these documentaries. He has other documentaries which are really important, has to do with Vaquero Live, has to do with Dr. Americo Paredes, so on and so forth. There's 30 of those, but we're going to do those 2. He'll be our presenter on the 25th, 2 to 4 p.m. here. We'll put the video, we'll show it on your screen, Cokes and water, and then we're out. Then we'll have the other one the following 2 weeks, a documentary by Mr. Galan, who's done a lot of work on Songs of the Homeland and According Dreams, which are 2 of the best documentaries on Conjunto music. He goes further and covers a whole statewide perspective. Then we'll have, on one of those, on a Friday, not a Sunday, we're going to bring a Cajun band, okay? I can't pronounce his name. Thibodeau, I think it's Thibodeau. And that is coming through Dr. Ramon de Leon, who they're good friends. So it's a Cajun band. Cajuns play accordion as well. And we'll have them do a Cajun meets Conjunto. So we'll do that at the Los Fresnos Community Center, 7 to 10. We'll hear Cajun music, we'll hear Conjunto music. So we're inviting the Laureles Chicken Club, which has been there for quite some time now, close to 20 years, who they gather tomorrow night and they just do jamming on Conjunto music, etc. Then we'll go back to another documentary, which is one of the most famous, is Chulas Fronteras, who Chris Strakowicz, who produced that Chulas Fronteras way back in 1976, just passed away a month ago, and he's considered to be one of the best documentary persons and recording old music and so forth. And so we'll show that, and then we'll end up on September the 1st, on another Friday, with a live Conjunto jam back at the Los Fresnos Community Center. And by that, we'll be inviting, and we already started to invite some musicians, and we'll just have a jam, and we'll just No alcohol, as far as I can tell you. I mean, we don't have a license, but it'll just be, Cokes and water, maybe some light finger food and stuff. But it's just to kind of stir up, and they'll be pressed. There's already stuff going out into Facebook. There's already stuff going out to the newspapers, and there'll be more information as the weeks go by. So I think this is the first time we'll try it. We're confident that it can be a good piece. And then hopefully later on, we'll do other kinds of programming that have to do with the Narciso Martinez Cultural Arts Center in Los Fresnos. So that's basically why I'm here. Thank you very much for the invite to speak, and also to the invite and the acceptance of the program for the summer in the city of Los Fresnos. So before you know it, you might not want to have me in town anymore, because I'm going to start to live here. Just to come in and go out. Last Friday I was at Arnie's and had a hamburger. And I'm not telling everybody that I'm coming to town, but I'm going to come into town more often and have coffee and go in places and so forth. But just the idea is to begin to put more of a face to our work in Los Fresnos. So that's what we're all about. Well, I know you can't comment on public comment, but thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. Ándale, gracias.
Thank you very much. At this time, moving on to consent agenda items. We have a total of 6 consent agenda items at this time. Is there any that the council would like for me to pull aside? Or is there a motion to be made?
Mayor, I make a motion to accept the agenda item, consent agenda.
Okay, motion has been made by Commissioner Macias,
I'll second.
seconded by Commissioner Munoz. With that said, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Or actually, they both said it at the same time, so I just picked one. So Commissioner Vincent and Commissioner Munoz seconded that. And all those in favor signify by raising your hand if you approve of it, and if you don't, nobody does, and we move. Sorry about that. Okay, moving on to action item number 1, consideration and action to approve and authorize the publication of the required notice of public hearing on the creation of reinvestment zone number 2, City of Los Fresnos, Texas, pursuant to Chapter 311 Texas Tax Code. Mark?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this is the exact same thing from last month, but in their publication that went to the newspaper, it said 803 802, which is down in Brownsville, instead of 803. And so even though the map was right and showed, we don't want any misgivings later on and someone say, yeah, but it wasn't exactly right. So to be careful, we're redoing it. I can't remember his name. Mr. Calderon was here last month. He changed it to the 803
On the TERS or whatever the thing
in the
yes.
TERS. And so then we'll republicize it. We'll have the public hearing and vote on it next meeting. This is just to hold the public hearing.
Just a discrepancy that we're adjusting. Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve action item number 1. Motion has been made and seconded by Commissioner Fernandez. All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Aye. Aye, and all those who oppose do the same. Motion does carry. Consideration and action to approve funding and accept bids for the Veteran Memorial Project. Mark?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we had one bid. Usually when we only have one, you're concerned. However, the bid was underneath the engineer's estimate, so we feel good about that. And the engineer feels, they worked with H2O Construction Services before, and so we recommend that we approve it and fund it accordingly with funds that the CDC has already approved. And so you would be approving their funding half of it, and the city general fund the other half.
And Mark, was those bids put out for others it was just happened that we just got that one?
Yes,
And it's under what we were expecting.
correct. There was 3 or 4 people that got the documents and were gonna bid. We don't know why they didn't.
Okay. Any questions from the council, or is there a motion? Can you please speak into the mic, please, Commissioner? Take your pick.
I make a motion that we approve item number 2, consideration approval funding and accepting bids for the Veterans Memorial Project.
Okay, motion has been made by Commissioner Munoz
I'll second.
and seconded by Commissioner Vincent. All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose, do the same. Motion carries. Action item number 3, consideration and action to amend the service agreement with Muni Services LLC to add franchise fee services. Mark?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Muni Services have been consulting with us for several years. And what they do is look at, review sales tax reports. And it just, they randomly check and be sure that there's receipts coming in from all the businesses on the sales tax. They collect it, but do they remit it? And they haven't found any that have not. So we've got good people in Los Redes that remit their taxes that they collect. This is sales tax, so like you buy a hamburger, buy a water, buy chips or whatever, there's sales tax on that. I'm not sure it's chips or tax, but anyway, you understand what I'm saying. One of the other services that they provide is looking in the franchise fees. There's franchise fees for AT&T, all of your mobile companies, everybody that has a cell phone. Those particular companies remit franchise fees. AT&T remits franchise fees. Texas Gas Service remits franchise fees. And there's a bunch of them, and it's a complicated way to determine who pays and how much they pay. So what we've talked to them about is reviewing all of those franchise fees to assure that everybody's doing it correctly. It'll help us set a base, and then you usually can tell from year to year because it doesn't change much from year to year, but it'll give us a base to be sure that we are getting the franchise fees that are deserved to do that. It's never been done here that I'm aware of, so I think it's good that we do develop a base, and then it's not something you have to do regularly, just every now and then.
Mark, how often does the service agreement come up? I know we're amending it, but how often does it come up for us to kind of vote on this? Because I think I've heard this before. I don't know if it was a year ago or 2 years ago.
No,
Not in regards to the amendment, but of what their services are.
The services are, yeah, it was a 3-year agreement, and then we upped it for another 3 years, and then this would just be adding the sales part of the agreement is zero cost.
I remember
This one
that. Okay.
will be $7,500 because it's quite a bit of research and work involved in it. But they do that business, and so they can help us out with that.
And we can get more money and better oversight over what's coming in. Okay, any questions or comments from the council? If not, if there's a motion to be made? If no comments, I'll go ahead and motion to approve the amendment service agreement with Muni Services LLC.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded by Commissioner Fernandez. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose, do the same. Motion carries. Action item number 4, consideration and action to approve to surplus a vehicle and donate it to the Los Fresnos Community Food Pantry. Now, that was the visit that we did, and went out there and we took a look at the food pantry, some of the services. I believe Commissioner Fernandez was there, Commissioner Macias was there, Mark was there, and it was a pretty good visit. I think we were able to learn a lot about their business and their obstacles, and one of their concern was that they were using their own vehicles to pick up donations from the schools, from here to I think they'd go to Port Isabel, they'd go San Benito or Los Fresnos, and they're getting the donations that they're bringing back here, and they're providing those to the people in need through the Los Fresnos. So we had talked about a vehicle, and Mark, what did you come up with that type of vehicle?
Yes, sir. In your packet, it shows that we have a Dodge Journey that's been in CID. It's 7 years old. It's got 83,000 miles, so we'd normally do it about this time or maybe a little bit later, depending on repairs. We've had a few repairs, so we felt that was the best one. They didn't want a pickup. If you'll remember, they wanted some way to keep it closed, and so they can use the back end of that. It's pretty large. You can even take the other two seats out and have quite a big area for them to pick up their food supplies.
That's awesome. I remember, what was it, 2 years ago, the county, Eddie Trevino, they made a pretty large donation to them for what they're doing down there, and I think it's great that we're able to contribute what we can to help them with what they're doing. Any comments or questions from the board?
Well, I think that it's a good thing that we're doing. I think it helps the community a lot with the food pantry. And they're out there almost once a month doing what they need to do. And I think anything we can do to help them will go a long ways with them.
I'll go ahead and motion, because I'm excited about this. I'll go ahead and motion that we approve the surplus of vehicle to donate it to the Los Fresnos Community Food Pantry.
I'll second.
Okay, motion has been made by myself and seconded by Commissioner Fernandez. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. At this time, we'll be acknowledging the city manager's reports. Is there any particular item that the council would like to talk about? Or Mark, is there any comments that you would like to make in regards to any pending project? If not, I'll give you a couple of minutes, or if you're ready, we can also make a motion at this time.
I make a motion, we accept the city manager's report.
Okay, motion has been made by Commissioner Vincent. And I'll go ahead and second that acknowledgement. With that said, all those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. At this time, we'll be acknowledging the department head reports. We have reports 1 through 6. Any questions in regards to any of the reports? And if not, if there's a motion to be made?
I'll make a motion to accept the department head reports as stated.
Okay, motion has been made by Commissioner Macias.
I second the motion.
Motion has been seconded by both Commissioner Munoz and Commissioner Vincent. With that said, all those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. At this time, closed session to deliberate pursuant to section 551.074, Title 5 of the Texas Governing Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act regarding the employment of the IT director, and closed session in accordance to section 551.071, the Texas Open Meetings Act, consultation with our attorney to deliberate pending or contemplated litigation. The time is now 6:19, and we'll be going into a closed session. Alrighty, it's 6:47. We'll go ahead and open this meeting back up pursuant to section 551.074, deliberation and possible action on the employment of the IT director, which we've motioned to allow Mark to continue to proceed with the IT director position. Do we need to motion on that? So I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve that.
I'll second.
Motion has been made by myself, seconded by Commissioner Fernandez. All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Aye, and all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. And we're going to open session in accordance to 551.071, the Texas Open Meetings Act, deliberation and possible action regarding consultation with attorney on pending or contemplated litigation. At this moment, that was just a discussion, and at this time, it is no action taken. It's 6:47, 6:48, and we'll go ahead and end the meeting. So good evening, have a good day. Meeting adjourned.